Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Untold Tales of Drakkenheim, our live play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventures. I am your host tonight, Kelly McLaughlin, running the game as Dungeon Master. And we're joined today by some wonderful people, several faces that you might recognize, and I'll have them introduce themselves.
I am the other half of the Dungeon Dudes, Monty Martin, and tonight, for the first time on this show, I am playing a character.
Yeah!
So exciting. And who else do we have here today?
Joe Gorman will be joining the Untold Tales this evening for the first time in 2021. Whoop, whoop.
Nice. And we are joined today by our wonderful guest, Mitch. Would you introduce yourself and let us all know a little bit about you and where you come
everybody. Thank you for the intro and thanks for having me. I'm super happy to be guest playing. I am Mitchell Roberts. You might have seen me, because I know you guys all love watching me, on the Twitch Quarter Life Gaming channel, which is a Twitch show that Joe and I, and actually Kyle, are all doing together. And we have a YouTube channel as well. So check it out if you feel like it. But otherwise, I'm super happy to be here with you all and play some D&D. It's been a while.
So thank you all for joining us again. If you're tuning in for the first time, Monty and myself post new videos every Thursday on our YouTube channel where we cover everything Dungeons and Dragons, including advice for dungeon masters and guides for players. And you can check all of that out at youtube.com/dungeon_dudes. So I guess we'll dive right into the action. We're going to get some new characters going on and a new adventure. So let's dive in. All right. So the scene starts in the wonderful town of Emberwood Village. If you've seen our Drakkenheim show, you know this town very well. Emberwood Village is a pretty quiet village, turned into a bit of an adventuring hub ever since the great calamity that is the meteor striking the city of Drakkenheim. The village rests ever in the shadow of the great city of Drakkenheim. People don't come by this way unless they are lost or looking for answers in the ruins. On this rather unpleasant and rainy day, 3 intrepid adventurers wander into the town square, following rumors they have heard. For all 3 of them have come today with purpose, hearing that there is a man in Drakkenheim known only as the Pale Man. And he is rumored to have a cure for the horrible contamination and mutations that plague the people that dive into the ruins of Drakkenheim. And it's this rumor that have brought these 3 to Emberwood Village. For this rumor of the Pale Man curing this contamination and mutations seem to involve that there is one person who has come out of the city claiming to have been cured by the Pale Man. This is a Miss Blackwell, who usually resides at the Red Lion Hotel in Emberwood Village. So let's introduce the 3 characters as they walk into town, looking to follow these rumors. Who do we have here? Monty, I'll get you to start.
All right. Stepping into Emberwood Village is an occasionally recognizable sight that the folk of Emberwood Village know to watch out for. For here is a man wearing the purple of the Amethyst Academy, 5 rings on one of his hands. Isaac Eisenhorn is a man in his mid-50s, and he has this kind of sandy graying hair, a thick rim of glasses, and every moment that he stops around a corner, or stops for a moment, He'll reach into his jacket, pull out a pocket watch, look at it, and then look at the watches on his wrist, as if he's waiting for something. Not sure exactly of the time. As he steps into the Red Lion Hotel, awaiting the companions that will be meeting with Miss Blackwell, mutters, "Already running behind schedule."
Awesome. Do we have the artwork up for Isaac?
Yeah.
Amazing. And this artwork was done by our very own Jeremy Cole, who did a lot of the official Drakkenheim art that we released a little while ago for season 1 and the character art for season 2.
Terrific work.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love this artwork. Moving on.
We should have maybe saved that for last.
No, we're going to start. We're starting with the most okay artwork, and we're moving into the greatest artwork ever.
Good point.
So, moving on, we're going to move to Joe next. Would you like to introduce us to your character?
Also, a regular in Emberwood Village, a community leader, and man of the land who has done his best to keep together some sense of community, but you can tell that the stress of it all is getting to him as his grizzled old face comes into the establishment. It's none other than Skip Featherwheat. A simply dressed old man with a mix of farming and traveling gear. He looks in his middle ages, and he's known to have 11 children under his care. There's always rumors about what his past life was, but now he's known as a farmer trying to keep his livestock, his family together, and trying to hold what he can as part of Emberwood Village in the plight of the Great Meteor.
Awesome. And I don't know if we actually did this, but Monty and Joe, your characters, did we discuss what race and class we were playing?
No, we did not. Isaac is of indeterminate lineage, but is a clockwork soul sorcerer.
Amazing. And Joe?
And Skip is a halfling rogue, a halfling soul knife rogue.
Amazing. And lastly, we come to the final adventurer to step forth into the Red Lion Hotel. And Mitch, would you like to introduce your wonderful character?
Yes, we have Flex Morgan, the half-orc fighter, who strolls into town, balancing his giant greatsword on the tip of his finger, singing, "Flex! Ah! Gonna kill some people today! Oh!" He nearly drops his greatsword, chopping a child in half, but it misses, just barely. He picks it up with a flash. His parents of the boy give him a scowl. Flex sees a post that stares at him funny, and it punches it! He keeps walking until he sees some patrons walking to a building, and he looks at the sign. It matches the ink that he previously drew. Red Lion, this looks right, and he enters.
Amazing. So the three of you enter the Red Lion Hotel, and out of all the buildings in Emberwood Village, the Red Lion Hotel is perhaps the most luxurious. It used to be the manor house of the mayor of Emberwood Village, which was then transformed over the last several years into a hotel for the more wealthy patrons who come through Emberwood Village. It's talked about here that several of the wealthy patrons tend to place bets on adventuring groups heading into the ruins. And there's a lot of jovial drinks and camaraderie in the building, although they seem to all kind of give you three a bit of a look as you walk in, as you are not the normal people that they see in such an establishment. However, it isn't difficult to tell who the person that you were looking for, Miss Blackwell, is, as sitting at the bar in the lobby of the hotel, amongst the hustle and bustle, you can see a very tall woman. She's pencil thin and about 6 feet tall, sitting at the bar. She's wearing a black coat with the collar pulled up high and a wide-brimmed black hat with a veil over her face. And it seems that although everybody else seems to be drinking wine or ales, she's actually sipping a cup of tea. And as everybody turns to look at you, you just catch, as she turns as well, the slight glow of octarine light coming from her eyes behind the veil. And she eyes you up and down and returns to her tea. What do you do?
I see everybody looking at me, and I go, "What are you all looking at? Mind your business. Back to whatever you're doing."
All the patrons actually do return back to what they were doing and try to look away, and there's mumbling and conversation brewing in the tavern.
So are we meeting at kind of the front of the before we are we all kind of together before we approach?
Yeah, I think
Blackwell?
you all. So you walked just in, and there's like the entranceway is pretty open, and there's like the lobby and a small bar off to the side, and there's a few people hanging out in this area. It's kind of the general meeting area, kind of the tavern-esque portion of the hotel. You can also get rooms upstairs and all of that from the front desk, but there is clearly a group of people enjoying some drinks around the bar, and that's where Miss Blackwell sits. And that's also where everybody that Flex just yelled at turned back to mumbling amongst themselves.
I approach over to our good friend Skip and say, "Skip, it's been many years. How's your family?"
"Oh, Mr. Eisenhorn, it's great to see you. Family's good, times are tough, but we're holding together. In the presence of such a great wizard, I feel very humbled to be brought along."
"Well, I'd heard that the farms aren't doing too well around here. Yes?"
"No, this is probably one of the worst seasons for the weevils. They've really decimated my wheat crops. A lot of the kids are sick.
Sick?
Yeah, they've got some really bad poisoning, and it's really caused my eldest, Steven, to be in a really bad place. And I really required him to be a part of the bringing in from the fields. And these weevils, they don't let up. They're the size of horses."
You say he's in a bad state. Isn't turning pale or a strange color or growing any extra eyeballs or mouths or perhaps limbs or fingers or things where things shouldn't be on him? No?
"Mr. Eisenhower, that's his exact symptom list. He's got all that stuff. And my wife, she's not doing too good, and Susan's taken for it too. I really hope this Miss Blackwell can point me in the right direction. I don't know how much more I can take."
Well, Mr. Featherwheat, you understand that how long has this been going on for? You understand, of course, that, well, if this isn't done, your boy is going to die.
"Well, the local healer said if I keep applying the ointment." "What about the ointment, Mr. Eisenhower? What about the ointment? Is the ointment doing nothing?"
That ointment. Sacred fire, folks, they think they've got going to pray it all away.
No. This can't be happening. I can't lose them all. I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
Well, you must understand that before your boy dies, he's probably going to split open into some sort of mound of flesh and mouths and eyes and probably devour your youngest first and perhaps some of your livestock.
That's
and
enough,
you're going to
enough, Mr.
probably watch all
Eisenhower.
this happen.
Enough. I don't know if my soul can take it. I need to get this. I need to be here. I need to find this cure for my family.
Well,
true.
Skip and Skip and Isaac are having this very upsetting conversation, and Skip is realizing the situation his family finds themselves in. Flex, what are you up to?
Along with the red lion on my arm, where I make all my notes, I have also made notes of someone I was supposed to meet here. A Blackwell, wearing clothes, glowing eyes, etc. I actually put etc. That was not very helpful. They listed off a bunch of things, but I stopped listening. There's only so many traits I can remember, even when writing them down. So I'm scanning the room. Aha! I see her. And in my mightiest walk, making as big of a stride, making sure to bump elbows with as many bar patrons as possible, I walk over and then clear space for myself, and then roughly putting an elbow down, making a loud bang, I say, "Hello. I hear you're looking for a hero."
Is that Flex, Mr. Eisenhorn?
Yes, that's Flex. Be patient with him. He's a good sword arm, and if we're going into the city, we're going to want some muscle with us.
It's as you slam down and say, "I heard you're looking for a hero." The woman in black takes a sip of her tea and slowly turns to you. "I was in no need of a hero. No, I didn't send for anybody."
My arm. I must have gotten a cut where that was another note. You are actually the one with information. You got special healing.
You're here to inquire about the Pale Man, aren't you?
That's it. That's the one.
Another poor soul going to get lost in those ruins, I suppose.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, well, what is it you'd like to know? You can actually make out, as now that you're up close to her, that you can see her eyes, and the pupils are this weird octarine color, and you can also see that her skin is very pale and pockmarked, and it looks like she's wearing leather gloves. She has the veil and the hat and the collar. It looks like she's trying to show as little of herself as possible, but you can still make out some things behind the veil that are unsettling to see. It's clear that she had contamination and delirium poisoning, but she seems relatively okay now.
Seems to me you're trying to hide as much of your skin as possible, but what I can see is very unsettling. Let me tell you.
You have a way with words, don't you?
A lot of people say that. They might be intimidated by my size, but I take it as a compliment either way.
Well, what would you like to know?
Miss Blackwell, look,
yes.
Please ignore.
Skip! You tiny little! Come in here! I'm gonna lift him up and give him a big bear hug.
Flex! Oh, Flex!
Flex! Been a long time, tiny adventurer. Are you okay? Bam!
Is this the Miss Blackwell we were here to meet?
Yes, I am Miss Blackwell. We've
been getting along great.
We've been getting along average. I assume that your muscly companion here and yourself, the two of you, quiet one in the back there as well, are here for information, aren't you? You've already announced that, yes, you're going trudging back into those ruins for what? For a cure for contamination? That's what everybody who talks to me wants to know about. So,
Well, begging your pardon, Miss Blackwell, but you've made no secret of it. There's many folk around town that speak of your remarkable story that, well, with respect, it's probably best that you're still wearing the veil, but the fact that you are still here and in one piece and surviving you must forgive our persistence, but you see my halfling friend here, his children are similarly afflicted.
What?
His eldest boy has a mouth on his stomach and an eyeball on his buttocks.
Oh, Skip, no.
you know, I actually I lost my children to the contamination and delirium as well years ago now, but camera. I can understand that, and that's tragic. Skip, was it? That's tragic to hear. How many children do you have?
Miss Blackwell, I have 11 children, and each one I love more than the next. And it would pain me up inside to have to bury any of my children before it is their time. And this delirium is from a place the unknown, and I don't know much about the magic behind it. And my good friend Mr. Eisenhorn can definitely attest to that. And he is very knowledgeable in these secrets. But you must tell us your story. It is truly hopeful. It has given light into the darkness.
Well, my, 11 children, plus a wife, and yourself? Is your wife doing okay?
No, now that you've prodded about it, she's actually doing really bad. I try to wear a strong face for the kids, but I don't know how much time she has left. Miss Blackwell, this might be my only chance to save my family in this community.
Well, very well, very well. I'll tell you what I tell everybody who comes asking. The Pale Man, he resides in the Kleinberg Estates. You might be familiar with them. If you're from the area, they're the richest neighborhood just northwest of Drakkenheim, just outside the walls. And he's taken up residence in one of the estates there. I also used to have a home there years and years ago, but I've left it behind. My mistake was going back to try to reclaim some of my belongings, but I found my home in ruins. Nothing was left except for horrible delirium contamination, which I acquired. I got lost in those ruins, scrounging for my life for a couple days, trying to survive with the horrible illness that had befallen me, when I stumbled upon this estate full of, well, people isn't exactly the word I would use, but there were individuals operating there, and they worked for somebody who went by the name the Pale Man. And they brought me in and cast a spell and used some sort of powder that allowed them to reduce my symptoms. And they fixed me up, and the people there were very strange, and it was not my favorite place to be, but I can't express how thankful I was that they were able to help me. And then they sent me on my way and told me to let anybody who was suffering from the contamination know where to find them. So I have done just that, and now I live here in Emberwood Village and just try to live out my days and enjoy what I can after losing everything in the ruins.
If I may.
Now,
I've been on a lot of adventures, and I've never heard of no free powder. Did you have to pay or what?
You know, it was something I did have to pay the Pale Man, but I mean, what I had left of my wealth was pretty useless now with living in these parts and these times. So I gave him his asking price. It was a modest fee, but I paid it, and he was able to cure me. He seems to be running a sound business there, but what's more concerning is, since I have told maybe 20 other people suffering from delirium contamination about this. And although the ruins are a dangerous place filled with horrible monsters, it's hard to say what exactly caused it, but I haven't seen a single one of them come back this way.
So you've sent others into the ruins, but none other has come back but you.
Not that I've seen. Some of them might still be in the ruins. I did talk to a few of the individuals there who said that they had been helped by the Pale Man as well and had offered their services to him and work for him now. So some others might not have been as lucky. It's not an easy path to get to, and you may know that the ruins are very dangerous.
I have no other questions for you, Miss Blackwell. May you stay safe, and perhaps you should reconsider sending others to walk the path that you did.
Well, that's fair, and I try to give fair warning and tell everybody that people sometimes don't come back from this journey, but I can vouch for the fact that the Pale Man does have a means to help those who are sick. That's the best I can offer you. I hope, for all of your sake, that you're able to save your family, young farmer, and that the three of you can come back here again. And if I do see you again, I'd be happy to buy the three of you a drink, if
hey, that's motivation.
Mr.
Very well.
Eisenhower, Mr. Eisenhorn, what do you think? Is there any magic known to the Academy that can cure of such an ailment? Are we on some kind of fool's errand? Is there
Come.
any truth to this?
Let's sit down and talk this over. Plan our next course of action. Skip. I want to bring us back to our table.
Yeah.
To a table.
You find a table there. It's
And I produced a leather, kind of a leather pocket, that has several vials in it. And I take one of the vials out, this vial of glowing orange liquid, and I show it to Skip, and I say, Skip, we've got this. It's called Aqua Expurgo, and it doesn't remove it. It just stops it from taking root. So if there is something that does more than this, that if there's a spell or a method or a ritual, it's not impossible. Skip, Flex, this Pale Man has been on our radar for some time. He's not a member of the Amethyst Academy. Whatever magic he's working, whatever potions he's creating, he's working with magic that is, well, likely unsavory in some way. Skip, when we go there, I'm going to need to kill this man.
What?
But you're an old friend, Skip. And hopefully we can convince him to help your family before we have to do that.
I suggest we don't tell him we're gonna kill him first.
That would be wise.
Got it. I helped.
He might try to kill us first.
In which case, fair game for us to kill him. Just saying, that's how I roll.
If I have one way of approaching this. He's going to know when I arrive that I'm a member of the Academy. That I'm a Maleficarum. So he will know that his time is up. We're going to make him an offer that if he gives us the formula, we'll look away. Once we get it, we'll come back and take him out.
Oh, we lied to him. I like it.
No, we're going to tell him that we're going to leave him be for now. Which is true. For now just happens to be for the next hour. Once we know how things are going on in there, we're going to burn the whole place to the ground. Understood?
Heck yeah! Fire! What?
Mr. Eisenhorn, this isn't some kind of trophy for me or the Academy. This is my family's livelihood, and I trust you. And if you help me save my family, I will be in a greater debt than any coins in this entire land can sum.
Skip, if the choice was mine, helping your family would be the priority. And if we can do at least that, then there's always another day. There's always more time. Right?
You're a good man.
Look down at my watch. There's always another day.
I don't know how many more times I can say that about Susan.
Well,
at this point, it sounds like you guys have your rough idea. So you are able at this point to head out of the Red Lion Hotel. And if we bring up our map of Drakkenheim, I will show you guys where you are headed. So the Kleinberg Estates is a well-known establishment. It's kind of a collection of fenced-in houses surrounded by a beautiful wooded area right north of King's Road. So if we're looking at our map, it's right in this kind of pocket, right on against the cliffs of the Castle Draken. And it's a wooded area on the northeast of Drakkenheim where many of the dukes and nobles had walled estates. It's one of the richest areas surrounding the city, and although some damage has occurred there, many of the estates are actually in relatively okay condition. And it's there that you will be heading. So the next choice that the three of you need to make is how you'd like to get there. It's on the outskirts of the city, so luckily you will not need to worry about passing through the walls or diving into one of the many gates into the city, which are known to be slightly problematic. There's a lot going on those walls and in those gates that you may not want to deal with. But either way, even the outskirts of the city of Drakkenheim can be a dangerous place. You could give a wide berth to the city and go around, in which case you'll have to figure out how to cross the Duran River. Although there is a crossing, although there is no bridge on the map, there is a way across within the city that you could use within the outskirts. But that would take you through a bit more of the actual outskirts of the city, which you know to be slightly more dangerous. So I'll leave that up to you guys.
if we take the long way, set out first thing in the morning, take the long way, we ought to arrive by the afternoon. Yes?
Do we know where to find this man?
The
Mrs. Blackwell had kind of pointed out a general idea.
The Kleinberg Estates. Guys, were you not paying attention?
Flex,
I've
show me
written
your
it on
arm.
my arm. Right
Flex.
here, you guys.
It's too high.
C.R. Kleinberg.
Very well then. Does that sound like a plan then? Is that if we take the long way? I mean, we are in a rush. We want to make sure that, but I mean, we want to make sure that Skip's family doesn't get that much worse.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Steven already has one eye on his butt, and there's more, I think, coming. They're kind of growing in. They start off as small zits, and they never
Boy.
pop.
I cannot imagine going to the bathroom like that. I feel so
time
sorry.
is of the essence then. The only thing that I want to do is I have the aid spell and the extended spell meta magic. So I'd like to cast that on us in advance before we set out.
Okay.
Because it then lasts 16 hours. So that is going to increase all of our maximum hit points by 20.
Wow. Okay. So I'll say that you guys actually take a room at the Red Lion Hotel that evening, and it's a little bit more expensive than the other locations, but you're able to pay for it, and it's a beautiful set of rooms that are much bigger than anywhere else in Amberwood Village, and you're able to cast aid on the party before you all go to bed. And wake up in the morning feeling fresh and 20 hit points better than you did before.
Nice.
So, as morning breaks on Emberwood Village, the three of you set out on the road along the outskirts of the city of Drakkenheim, heading for the Kleinberg Estates in search of the Pale Man, who seemingly may have a cure for Skip's family. As you're adventuring, you can make out the city beside you, and even from the outskirts, you can make out the looming towers of Drakkenheim, the hanging Academy Tower defying gravity where the meteor smashed through its center, the great castle Draken hunched like a vulture over the corpse of the city, and the peaks of the cathedral and St. Selena's Abbey, the looming walls lined with gargoyles that never seem to be in the same place twice. You're able to see all of these as you skim along the outskirts of the city and try to avoid the horror that is Drakkenheim. A little while into your adventure, you do come to the Duran River. And it's at this point that you need to decide whether you're going to move up to about the middle area to try to cross through the ferry that still exists there, or if you have another means of crossing from the outskirts.
I'm down to take the ferry.
Flex, have you crossed many rivers in your adventures?
Bro,
What do you say?
I have lost count. I'm always down for a ferry. Always. But I'm always down for new experiences too. You know? Personally, I like to do this thing where I throw my greatsword in the air, and if it lands with the sword in the ground, then I know my decision. You guys want to try that?
Flex, with all due respect, this is my family's well-being that's at
I am
stake.
being so insensitive. I am so sorry. That was very insensitive.
Can we not leave it up to a throwing
I
sword
throw
in the
my
air sort
axe
of
into the air.
Eisenhorn?
This may be a prudent time to take some precautions of our own. The Duran River is contaminated. We don't want to afflict ourselves with the exact same sicknesses that have affected your family. For our purposes, so I brought a vial of Aqua Expurgo for each of us for our journey. So it might be prudent before we potentially cross a contaminated river, even if we're on a ferry, for us to imbibe this now and make sure that that we're not going to be, really in a bad way once we get any further than this. Does that seem agreeable?
Eisenhorn, that's some great forward thinking.
Okay.
I did offer to throw the sword, but I guess that's a good idea. Chew.
Just
All right, so you guys are going to Aqua Expergo up and then take the ferry across?
Yeah, so I pull out the vials, which are this bright orange liquid, and you drink these. It's going to affect you for 8 hours. You get resistance to necrotic damage. And if you fail a saving throw against something that gives you contamination, you can choose to succeed instead.
Okay.
But once you use it 3 times, Aqua Expurgo wears off on you 46 minutes later. And once it wears off on you, you will be probably vomiting for an hour straight. And for each time you used it, you'll get a level of exhaustion. Just so that you are forewarned about that.
And this is the best that the Academy has come up with.
Fantastic, isn't it?
We really need to find this man.
Bottoms up.
Thank you, Eisenhorn.
Jeez.
So as the three of you dive into your orange potions, they taste rather unpleasant, and you're already anticipating the horrible aftermath of these great potions. And as you move along the river, you come to a small dock that has a rickety old boat tied up to it. And across the river, you can see another small dock with a rickety old boat. And there's a couple of oars for you to cross. And it seems that this is the means that people who are traveling this way use to get across the Duran River.
I'm going to use mending on the boat because I don't trust it.
Very good. So actually, as you approach the boat, you notice that it has some cracks and a few holes, and it looks like it's ready to sink at any moment. And you actually manage to mend up the holes. And now, other than a little bit of gross water at the bottom, it looks like it's actually going to float much better. So
This looks seaworthy.
Huzzah!
Also, just check the oars as well, and just. And as I cast the spell, the mending spell, I wave my hand in a semicircular motion over the object, and it's almost like the damage is being rewound.
ooh.
cool. So you guys now have a seaworthy vessel able of crossing the Duran River. So, yeah. You guys row across as Flex.
Shut
Let's
Gun.
rows across.
As I finish casting the spell, I mutter to myself, "This boat's... it's seen better days. Let's go back to those."
As Flex gets in the boat, it kind of like sinks a little bit into the water, and you guys row forward across the river without issue, thanks to the wonderful mending of Isaac. Isaac Eisenhorn. As you reach the other side, you can see the other boat looks like it's also in really bad shape, and it looks like it's been tied up here. And you can actually see there's a little bag left in the boat that seems to have a piece of delirium in it, and it looks like it was left here recently.
Want to grab that?
Flex, carry it.
But what's the magic word?
Abracadabra.
Close enough. I'm gonna pick it up with my great sword, just on the tip of it, and then do a little flourish, bing, bink, and kind of attach it to my belt, I suppose.
Nice.
Make sure you don't touch this with your bare hands.
Thank you for saying that after. But it's a good thing. I always pick up stuff with my greatsword.
As you guys are venturing into the city, I'm going to have all of you roll me a d6.
3. Just you want me to keep that a secret?
No.
Okay.
1.
Yeah.
All right. We got a 1. So, as you're moving through the city streets, the three of you are walking through these ruined buildings, and you can kind of start to see you're getting into a slightly richer neighborhood. The buildings are getting bigger and a little more spread out and a little more intact. They're not as ruined as they are towards the southern part of the city. And as you're navigating through the streets, you hear a sound, and it sounds like a few people talking to each other. You can't quite make out what they are saying, but it sounds like they're headed in your direction. What do you do?
Guys, I got a feeling. My hairs are tingling. My swords are speaking. I feel like we got a fight coming.
You have but a moment to react as the voices approach the corner near where you are at the end of the street.
I'm gonna hide just around the corner, and I gesture to the rest. Quickly, out of the way.
But
let's get the drop on them.
Fine. And I follow.
I hide around the corner with Isaac, and I'm sort of behind him and in front of Flex, but you basically can't even see me at this point. I'm just lost amongst the feet.
I get behind Flex as well.
Yeah, we're waiting for him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have all of you roll stealth.
What die?
D20 plus your stealth.
I get a 15.
Okay.
I got a 4.
I got a 26.
All right.
I crit failed that roll. Makes sense.
As I push Flex around.
Yeah, Flex is actually leaning outside.
You can't see us.
So what you guys see is walking down the street is this small little group of what at first appear to be people. But as they approach the corner that you're at, you can see one of them a little bit bigger than the others. They're all wearing these dark cloaks with the hoods pulled up. And again, you can make out this very pale flesh underneath and these sunken back, beady black eyes. And the one creature in the front seems to be bigger than the others. And even though he's wearing a cloak, you can kind of see these weird growths, like one on his shoulder that's kind of causing the cloak to stretch in weird ways. And a lot of their bodies look like they have large growths or deformities upon them. And you can actually make out the smaller creatures kind of seem very stout and huddled up with hunched backs, and they're moving along behind the one in the lead.
What kind of equipment are they carrying?
You can make out that the little creatures that are kind of tailing don't have much on them. The one in the lead, though, you can see on his side is a crossbow, and you can make out possibly the glint of steel under the cloak. Also carrying a satchel that you can actually see is hanging from their shoulder, open, and you can make out delirium shards inside of that satchel. And they actually are heading in the direction of the Kleinberg Estates.
Is that towards us or away from us?
So they seem to be heading towards you at the moment. They're about to round this corner and head past you. And as they do, you can make out some talking, and one of the little ones says, Oh, Master is going to be very happy with what we found in the ruins, isn't he? And the one leading goes, yes, I believe he will. We have come back with a good haul this time. And they move slowly towards you. And as they do, one of them kind of peers over and sees Flex poking out from behind the house. Yeah. As they're walking, they just kind of stop. And one of the little one goes, Is there somebody over there watching us? And they all turn and look.
That's just...
And the one in the lead looks... Is there... Are you trying to hide? You. Yeah, no, I can see you. Are you trying to hide? What are you doing
I think
there?
it's working.
Do you have friends with you?
Huh? Oh, me? No, I'm alone.
Roll deception.
Okay, nice. Okay, I wasn't rolling. Acting. So that's a D20. 12. I'm pretty big.
Well, you just stay right there. We have no business with you. What are you doing here anyway?
Just walking around, stabbing stuff, collecting bags, doing stuff that people do. What?
One of the little creatures starts tugging on the bigger one's cloak and starts sniffing the air. I think one of them, I think that one's carrying delirium on him. Maybe we should try to take it.
Don't even try to touch my dormirmium.
Did he just call it dormirmium? Well, he has no idea. Tell you what, friend, the big one says.
Mm-hmm.
If you found any strange purple rocks here in these ruins, they're very dangerous, and I would very much like to take it off of your person. They're far more valuable to us than they would be to you.
I heard valuable. What are you offering me for them?
He scrounges out a handful of coin. He has about 3 gold on him. I offer you 3 gold for your delirium. It's not worth much more than that to you. I'm sure. Please.
Okay, come and get it.
The larger creature kind of turns to one of the little ones, and kind of nudges him forward. And as he nudges him,
no. You come and get it. I'm talking to the big guy.
Me?
Come on, man.
What?
Don't send your little people. I mean, we're business people.
I'm an old man.
Bosses talking to each other.
I'm an old man, and I'm incapable. My hands don't work quite as well as they used to. He starts to step forward, and as he approaches, he actually steps around the corner and sees 2 people hunched. You're not alone at all.
Psych!
What is the meaning of this? Roll for initiative.
Guys, I got them. Okay.
This
That is
Flex, your negotiation. It's really gone downhill.
Thank you. That's good, right? So I rolled a 6 with my initiative bonus, so not very good.
Let me just get. All right. What did everybody else get?
I got a 21.
I got a 14.
Me first, you guys. What? Why you guys going around
All
me?
right. So, Skip, you're up first.
I'm just warming up back here.
So you see the creature kind of a look of surprise on its face as it realizes that Flex is not alone, and this situation has got far more dangerous than it was anticipating.
Okay, so due to Skip's natural size, he's quite small, and he can naturally hide amongst creatures that are bigger than him.
Right.
So out of nowhere,
Right,
through
you
the
were
legs,
unseen.
through the legs of Flex Morgan,
Hey now.
a small man emerges from his nether regions and attacks the large thing in the face with psychic blades.
That's only happened twice before.
So, I go, you just hear,
I'm gonna kill you.
and I roll a 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits. That hits.
So, in these psychic daggers, he carries nothing in his hands, but as he goes to strike, you can see at the last moment, this dagger, made of almost like energy, almost appears in his hand, and it's only for a flash, like a lightning bolt, and it stabs into this creature, and then as he removes his hand, it almost disappears just as quickly.
What was that?
Dealing,
Where did you come from?
and do I?
You don't want to know.
Is Flex with no? Because I'm coming out from under Flex.
You were hidden, so you should have rolled with advantage.
Yeah,
and
you-
would have. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have advantage, and you can use your sneak attack.
Then I use my sneak attack. 27 damage.
Ouch.
Wow.
So out of nowhere, this little halfling runs between Flex's legs. A dagger appears in your hand, and you pierce him in the gut. And as you do, you get this weird feeling on your hand, like his skin is really wet and slimy, and his insides just kind of start spilling out as you stab him, and he kind of clutches his stomach, and he's like, what is?
Ew.
Where did you come from?
You got him, Skip.
And yeah, he's hurt. Skip, anything else?
And then I'm going to and I say to this horrible creature, "You tell us where the pale man is." And then I run back underneath Flex's legs, and I try to hide.
I don't know if you can hide if he saw you directly go under the legs, but you are now behind Flex, and he can't quite get.
Oh,
to you.
and I'm using mobile as well, so I get out of there. I'm in and out.
Nice. Yeah, so you have the mobile feat. Awesome. So next up, we actually have this creature that you just stabbed, and he moves off to the side, trying to follow you as you run behind Flex. And he takes out his crossbow, and you can actually see him load a bolt that has a shard of delirium as the tip. And he goes, "You little scoundrel, you're not getting away from me." And he's going to fire the bolt at you.
Oh no!
Not cool.
Getting an 18 to hit.
Oh man!
There's some cool new abilities, like
Yeah.
No, that hits. We'll just say that hits me.
All
It
right.
hits me with
So this delirium bolt just
Wait,
penetrates. Oh,
if I'm if he's within my close to me or whatever, can I protect him? Is that
No,
That
he's
was your
not
paladin.
close enough.
okay?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not close enough.
So the bolt makes contact, and it does 9 damage, but then you also need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, I get a 19.
Oh yeah, you're okay. So the delirium bolt hits you, and then you can see the delirium crystal kind of fall out of your body. It doesn't stick, and you don't receive contamination, but it hurt.
Ow.
Hey,
And that is, yeah, and that is it for that creature. So next we come to Isaac.
Okay. So we've got these other nasty little folks, and they look like they're going to rush us, yes? As well?
They look a little scared, but yes, they do look like they're going to, they're gearing up to charge in.
Okay. In that case, we can't have any of that. So, I am going to cast Slow on them. It's a 40-foot radius cube, so they're within 40 feet of each other, so they're all in the area. So 6 creatures of my choice within a 40-foot cube. I choose the 4 of them, and they each must make a DC 18 Wisdom saving throw.
Whoa!
Oh, good. So the little creatures, let's see if any of them, I need to roll a 20 in order to... No, they're all slowed. And what about our big guy? No, they're everybody just, as all this action is happening, suddenly you see all of them just start moving in slow motion.
There's just like a moment where there's a ripple of bluish octarine energy that just ripples out through the air, and there's kind of like this visible motion trail behind each of them as the possible speed of them moving quickly is shunted out of reality. And then there's just this sound that echoes through the air that goes tick, 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 tick.
You guys hear that?
What you see is the creature who just fired this bolt suddenly being slowed down and like starts to react, and you can see their facial expression change in slow motion to a look of slight panic.
And then I will use my bonus action you're gonna get right in there, aren't you? Flex. Okay.
You know it.
Yeah. So beyond that, then I am just going to move back. Yeah. Back over to there. And then, partway through the movement, I'll stop there and bonus action, telekinetically just shove this dude. He's got to make a strength saving throw, DC 17.
Oh boy.
You just shove him?
Yeah, just...
Are you pushing him just right back?
He just goes straight back away from me, 5 feet.
All right.
And
slow
just
motion.
like... Yeah, just... There's this...
Awesome. So he gets shoved back. And is that all for you, Isaac?
That's it for me.
Amazing. We move on to Flex. It is your turn.
Okay, I apologize for the noob questions. I'm a noob, y'all. Right now, like, do I have an opportunity to interrogate, or is it like fight mode?
It's kill him.
Kill him. Okay, because plus, if I tried to, he would be like, "Well, yes." Okay, so in that case, I'm just going to take my good friend Isaac's advice and move over here, and like in slow motion, I'm gonna like take out my sword and be like, huh, no,
Taunting him?
and then slash him down.
All right. So I have
And-
-2 to my AC because of slow.
Yeah.
So yeah, make your attack roll, and remember you have Great Weapon Master, so you can take the -5.
And they can't take reactions either, so just walk away from them after you're done. They can't hit you.
Terrific. So I will take Great
Takes,
Weapon Master and subtract 5 from my roll. Been rolling very poorly, so we'll see how that goes. That would be a 8.
Oh, that is a miss.
Okay, I'm going to attack again.
It's all the taunting you did with
I
your
know.
sword, and
All
you
right,
just
no
end
more
up missing.
And then I'm
We've
like,
got time, but not that much.
in one
Quit
quick
fiddling
movement,
around.
as I miss, I'm going around again. And this time I'm just going to straight up roll. No,
Okay.
yeah, apparently I'm horrible. There we go. So that's 22.
Oh, yes.
Huzzah.
You on the swing back, you make contact. So your sword does 2d6 damage plus
Fuck.
I think it's +7.
Sure. I'll take that. So that is 4 plus 4, so 8 plus 7, 15.
15. All right.
And then no. I was thinking about action surging, but I'll wait for that.
Awesome.
So yeah, I guess in that case, since he's not going to get an opportunity attack, I'll disengage. And like I see Skip standing there, and I'm like, "You seem cold, little buddy," and I'm just going to step over him again.
awesome.
So he's hiding in my little
By the time you make it
area.
By the time you make it back to Skip, you turn around and the creature is still holding his middle while blood from your attack still flies through the air in slow motion. So you can actually
Cool.
turn around to see the outcome of your attack, and it's awesome.
Well, you look at that.
The wretches are going to attempt to engage, but they are moving in slow motion.
Yeah, their speed is halved.
Yeah, so they are still actually able. Just want to make sure here. Yeah, so they actually scurry slightly faster than you would have expected them to in slow motion. This one only makes it there. So 2 of them make it up to you, Flex, and you actually see their hoods kind of come off as they run at you, and they're both these bald little creatures with these sharp teeth and beady little black eyes, and they leap at you, and they're both going to attempt to bite you.
Hey.
So the first one gets a 17 against
That
your
hits.
AC.
AC
Ooh.
16.
So you are going to take 6 damage, and the little creature actually attaches to you. It's latched onto you. The second one jumps at you as well. Ooh. Getting an 11 to hit.
Miss.
He bounces off of his buddy who has latched onto you. So they both jump at the same time. One of them latches on, the other one knocks heads with that one and falls astray.
Get it off! Get it off!
Yeah, you're like swinging around and it's like latched onto your chest. This like little 3-foot tall creature that's like
It's on me.
teeth are digging into you.
It's digging into me.
And that brings us back to Skip.
Skip seeing this parasite attacking Flex, he's going to use his slippers of spider climbing and walk up the side of the building and come over top of Skip's head, almost like perpendicular to Skip, or to Flex, and attempt to cut this thing off of him. This
All
thing
right.
that's attacking his friend. For a 21 to hit.
Oh, yes.
So the arm
Amazing.
just kind of falls down. And again, as it's coming across this creature, this psychic energy sort of comes out of it. And 23 damage.
You cut it right off. It is dead.
And
Horribly.
standing sort of over Flex, sort of right by his head, and then he's gonna throw another dagger at one of these at the big creature.
Okay.
He's gonna
Nice.
toss it at the big daddy one for a 24 to hit.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit.
For 6 damage.
All right.
So in this case, he throws, and it's almost like invisible, and it's like a spike that gets sent into the air, and then it lands into him, leaving no mark, but you can see it kind of shudder.
Again, this creature is horribly confused. It's just been slashed, cut, shoved, all within, like, in its head, the span of less than a second, right? Because it's in slow motion. So all of a sudden, these wounds are appearing, and you guys to it are all moving in super fast motion. It's a little terrified, but you see that as it's reeling from this, it actually manages to get its crossbow up, and it's now going to take a turn.
How tall is the building beside us?
Yes, the building is, about, I don't know, 20 feet, let's say.
Okay, so as he does this, he's going to climb to the very top of the building and perch
Awesome.
on top.
So the creature actually seeing the only big target in front of it and not being able to move, it sees you run up the wall, but it's too slow to actually move its crossbow. So it just fires 2 shots into Flex Morgan.
Only gets 1 shot. It's slowed.
Oh, even with multi-attack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So slow.
It's just there, and it's
Slow.
like, and you see the shot coming.
Does it come at slow motion too?
Yes.
Cool.
Do I have disadvantage on?
No.
Okay. So it's going to be a 16 to hit.
No, I can see it coming right for me. Very slowly. So my AC is 16, so that hits me, eh?
All right. Yeah. So you see
I
it
should have
coming.
moved.
It's still like it's moving relatively fast, and you're like, should I move out of the way? And then it just like digs into your flesh, and you're like, ah. So that's just going to do 6 damage.
Okay.
And not much else is going to happen there. And that's that creature's turn, because thank you, slow.
Yes.
So
It can roll now to get out of the slow.
Oh,
they all
good.
get the chance to roll at the end of their turns.
and it's a
18.
on wisdom.
Yep.
I got a 2. I got a 2.
Make it. It's not gonna make it.
All right. So that brings us to Isaac. The creature clearly did not do as well as it had hoped.
Okay. All right. I am going to pull out my first. I just want to check the range of this spell. I'm gonna just cast a spell here. 10-foot radius. So let me grab it. You might have to adjust this. Yep, I'm in range. Okay. I'm going to cast Magnify Gravity.
Ooh, cool.
And I'm gonna aim it. Yeah, Kelly, can you switch that to a 10-foot radius? It's supposed to be one more. Oh,
Boom.
there we go. So I'm gonna cast it there. So that should get them all.
Yep, looks like it. What does this spell do? I like this is a new one for me.
One of the graviturgy spells. So the gravity in a 10-foot radius sphere, basically, just like the time for those with a full understanding of time and space, they're basically the same thing, just stretched out in different dimensions that most minds cannot comprehend. So by spinning time fast enough, you can increase the gravity. And so they each have to make a Constitution saving throw, and on a failed save, they take 2d8 force damage, and their speed is halved.
All right. That was a dexterity save?
It's a Constitution save.
Constitution. Ah. That's way worse. All right. I get an 18 for one of my little dudes.
Nice.
I get a 15 for the other, and for the big guy, 12.
So the big guy and one of the little guys fails. It's 14 damage for the those that failed their saves, and 7 for those that succeeded.
All right. 14 damage for the ones that failed, and 7 for the ones that didn't.
Mm-hmm. And then the ones that failed, their speed is also reduced by half again.
Oh my god. So that oh no, okay, so the wretch, the little creature that was just about to leap onto Flex, actually just gets pulled into the center and like implodes.
Yeah, gravity just like there's just like this crunching noise, and like the blood doesn't even squirt out, just the gravity gets pulled in on itself.
He actually, you see him jump towards Flex, and right as his teeth are like in Flex's face, he just gets pulled back, and you hear him go, "No!" And then up. And the other guy, did they get sucked into the middle, or is that like?
No, they don't. This is not the one that sucks them into the
Okay.
middle. This is just the one that slows them down.
It's coming. It's coming later.
There's one little wretch left, and the guy is so slow now that he's not going to.
Yeah, his speed is reduced by I guess by half again. And I'll just to make sure he's not gonna go anywhere, I'm just gonna move up a little bit, and I'm gonna telekinetically shunt him back even further into the cart.
All right. He makes a strength saving throw, fails horribly because he's not very strong, and he just kind of goes slowly flying and tumbles into this cart, and it's just there like, and is falling. I don't know. It's a bad time for him.
And then I'm gonna move around the corner.
Oh, God. All right. So that was Isaac. Anything else, Isaac?
That's all for me.
All right, Flex, you're up.
Okay. So to take out a new weapon, that counts as an action. Is that right?
No, I allow stowing and pulling out
Yeah, you can
weapons.
switch your
Okay.
reaction.
Because I was using my great sword, but now I'm gonna change to my Sunblade, and I think that's the one that has +7.
Cool.
Okay.
And it says 1d8, but we're gonna use 2d6. Is that right?
Yeah, it's still a great
Okay.
sword. It's a great sword.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So it uses the same dice rolls as your greatsword, but you get the bonus like +11 and the bonus damage.
Amazing. Okay, so I take out my Sunblade. It's friggin' Sunblade! And with the dude right in
Flex.
front of me, I'm gonna be like, your friend tried to stab my throat with his mouth! And I'm gonna slice down on him.
All right, go for it.
Are you great weapon mastering or?
Yes. In
Flex
this case. Okay.
Does it?
Great weapon mastering, which is just subtracts my roll by 5, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then +10 to damage if you hit.
Boom. Okay, so that is 16.
That is a hit.
Yes. Okay, so 2d6 plus 17. 6. 1. 7 plus 17, 24.
What happens, Flex? What happens to that
Okay.
little minion?
I would like it to just explode with all of its blood and guts just missing me and somehow hitting Skip, who's just kind of like watching what's happening from above.
You cleave it upwards, so all the blood shoots up into Skip.
Oh, Skip, you lucky duck. I wanted that blood and guts all over me. Next round. Okay, so now I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 25.
Flex, keep him
And Mitch,
alive.
Don't forget, because you killed an enemy, you get to make an extra attack as a bonus action.
Amazing. Thank you, Monty. Okay, so I have 2 more attacks to go. So just for fun, I'm just gonna slice this guy in half, I think.
Cool. Just for fun.
Flex! Flex! We need to know where the pale man is.
You need to know. Slash! That was my idea earlier, was to interrogate, but like, I don't think I can now, right?
Go for it. Go for the attack.
Do what you want to do.
Okay.
And if
you do.
So,
you can try to talk to his severed corpse afterwards.
I just rolled and I hadn't called the great.
Well, if you want to use it, just use it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna, because I crit rolled and I feel like I was gonna say that.
No,
Yeah.
do it.
That's still okay. Okay.
Did you crit?
I crit. Yeah.
What happens? He doesn't have enough hit points left.
Where's the pale man? Oh!
He asks.
Oh, Skip, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Fox.
Oh,
Oh,
Skip,
man.
I thought it was a microphone. No, okay. Next time, Skip, next time, buddy. I am so sorry. Maybe he can still talk. Where is he?
Hands on my hips, I walk down very upset with Flex.
Flex,
And I just walk down kind of sideways down the building and I'm flustered.
You're just walking sideways down the building?
Flex, I gotta tell you, that was one of our leads. You had a great rapport with him when you weren't hiding, and they could have maybe asked. They were talking about something. He was an informant potential.
Skip, I haven't killed anybody in so long. You know how I get.
Yeah, I know. It's just we love your enthusiasm for murder. It's just that sometimes we just need. I need you to hold back on.
And I'm blood is just gushing, like sludge from this other creature is just still kind of dripping, and I'm trying to like clean it up and try to like collect my thoughts.
I'm gonna take out my arm and go. Ask questions before killing.
And in the background, the last half of the body slumps over, and his satchel kind of falls onto the ground as you guys are having this conversation.
Shotgun. Can I use my greatsword to put his satchel into my satchel?
Yeah. As you're picking up his satchel, you actually find there are 7 delirium slivers inside, and a rough, crudely drawn map that leads to the Pale Man's Manor.
Oh, Skip! I found a picture.
There's more than one way for a foe to speak. Sometimes it's through what you find on their body.
Nice. Or in their body. Let me check.
You find, hold on, you find 6 organs that are in the wrong place.
He wouldn't know that.
No, he wouldn't know that.
These feel like they're in the right
Well, he does know it because
by the time he got to them, they were in the wrong place anyways.
He reaches into the lower half and pulls out the heart, and he's like, "Oh, that shouldn't be there." But that's the most he can discern. So you guys have cleared that, and the streets fall silent once more. You're kind of on the cusp of the Kleinberg Estates, and you now have a rough map. It's not very obvious, but as you are traveling, there's little notes here that say, like, look for the house with the stupid windows. And you see a house, and there's like a crude drawing of like a broken window that like looks kind of ornate. And as you're walking, you kind of see a house with that ornate window broken. And at first, these directions don't seem very obvious, but the further you navigate, the more you can actually piece together that it's kind of a string of points along the way to look for, so you can kind of see the next point from each one.
Landmarks.
Yeah, it's a landmark map with crudely drawn pictures, and clearly it's so that as this group went out to gather delirium, that they didn't get lost on their way home. And that actually is able to lead you to an estate that you actually find. As you move into the Kleinberg Estates, there are many, many of these fenced-in properties with large, grand houses. You can make out beautiful trees and parks in the area. There's a lot of wild Wildlife in the sense of trees, not actual animals. You don't find any animals, but a lot of different treed areas, and it's a beautiful neighborhood. You can imagine that before it was destroyed by a horrible meteor, that this was actually one of the most gorgeous places to come in Drakkenheim. And it doesn't take you too long to notice a house that is actually more intact than most of the other ones in the area. And you make it out to be the manor of where the Pale Man is residing. You can assume that because as you draw near, you can actually see a few of those little creatures moving back and forth on the property. You can barely make them out, but there's a few people wandering back and forth here. And you see this house. It's an old Victorian building with steep red shingled roofs, gray painted walls, and white trim. It looks old and decaying now. The paint is chipping and several of the shingles have fallen off. But compared to many of the manor houses, it actually seems that this one is relatively intact. Most of the windows are boarded up tight, and the glass, from what you can make out, looks to be mostly broken. You can also make out a large stable on the right side of the property. It's a large fenced-in property with stone fences surrounding it, and the stable is designed in much the same fashion as the manor. It was clear by even looking at this that the original occupants used to have several horses that they kept. And on the front right of the property, you can make out, the front left of the property, you can make out an old tower made of large stones. But beyond the second story of this tower, you can't actually see it anywhere. It looks like the top of the tower has crumbled off, but there's no debris anywhere. It's just missing. There's a small guard's post next to a pair of wrought iron gates that creak gently in the breeze. And you can make out some slight movement within the little guardhouse next to it. And I actually have pulled up our map here, but as you come close to the estate, I think this is a great time for us to take our 15-minute break. And we are back from our break. We have all taken a short rest and gotten hydrated, fed, and emptied. So now we can dive back in. But first, a few things to let you know about. If you're enjoying our stream and you want to help support our work, you can please check us out on Patreon. A lot of our recent videos are made possible thanks to the generous support of our Patreon community. You can find that by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes. And also, we have a phenomenal Discord community exclusive to our patrons, where you can come and join us on Discord and discuss all things Dungeons and Dragons and Drakkenheim. And you can also take part in our monthly writers' rooms, where you get to help Monty and I come up with the scripts for the Thursday and Tuesday episodes, as well as taking part in our monthly Q&As by submitting our Patreon-submitted questions. So if you're joining us on there, you can hang out with us and join in on all that fun. Thank you.
Yeah, and of course, with our series on Untold Tales of Drakkenheim, we have been exploring some of the new locations that Kelly and I are workshopping for the Dungeons of Drakkenheim campaign guide, which is going to be coming up on Kickstarter later this year. Kelly and I have partnered in with the awesome folks at Ghostfire Games to bring Drakkenheim to life as a full hardcover, full-color module for the 5th edition of the world's greatest role-playing game. There's lots of news and updates that's going to be coming out over the coming weeks and months, but you can sign up for the latest updates and get notified when the campaign launches in your email by going to Drakkenheim.com and signing up there for our mailing list. We'll have all sorts of news over the coming weeks and months about the book, about what's going to be in it. But for those of you that sign up on our newsletter, we'll let you know right away when the campaign begins in your email, so you will not miss out once that goes live. So we're really, really excited. It's going to be a complete guide for the entire city, everything, all the locations that you saw in the original Dungeons of Drakkenheim campaign. all the rules for the factions, Delirium, the Haze, all that good stuff, plus some of these new locations that we've been workshopping in our Untold Tales series. So we'll see how things change and develop, because this is kind of like a little bit of a play test, actually, for some of these new places, because we realized, oh yeah, we need a few more mid-level to high-level location, low-level, actually. Lots of low-level stuff we've been working on.
Yeah,
too.
Which is funny that we're starting with 2 high-level sessions, but there's a lot of low-level stuff that we're going to be looking at as well.
Yeah, exactly. So there's lots of cool stuff that we're working on for the new books. So continue checking out these Untold Tales for a little bit of a preview of some of these new locations. We're going to have many more awesome guests over the coming weeks, but I will turn it over to our wonderful guest this week, Mitch, for a plug of his own. Mitch, tell us where we can find your stuff.
Thank you for the plug time. I appreciate it. Once again, everybody, thank you for having me as a guest. I'm having a blast. If you like watching whatever the heck it is that I do, please come check out the Quarter Life Gaming Twitch channel. Joe, the wondrous Joe that we all know, him and I do that channel together, as well as someone you might know, a little handsome fella named Kyle. So if you ever want to see more than that thumbs up, come check out the channel. We also have a YouTube channel where we post our gameplay videos, but also video game related sketches. That's Quarter Life Gaming. Check it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Let's return to the Untold Tales of Drakkenheim. When we left our heroes, they had just managed to navigate their way through the outskirts of Drakkenheim, leaving Emberwood Village following a rumor and a clue. As one of our lovely adventurers, Skip Featherwheat, who has come here and enlisted his friends, the trusted Isaac Eisenhord from the Amethyst Academy and Flex Morgan, the hired muscle, to help him out with a problem, as Skip's family has fallen ill and has seen some bad times from delirium contamination. And so, following the rumor that somebody in the city of Drakkenheim has the ability to cure the contamination, our 3 heroes have navigated their way to the Kleinberg Estates, one of the richest neighborhoods in Drakkenheim. And they have found an estate building still standing, and they can make out tiny little figures moving on the property in the distance as they approach. And that is where we will join back with our heroes as they come up to this rather run down but still functioning rich estate, fenced in by these beautiful ornate stone fences with the wrought iron gate at the front and a little guardhouse that you can just barely make out a little bit of movement inside. What will you do?
I have a plan.
I'm listening.
Eisenhorn, you got us this far. What do you think?
No.
I'm hesitant to risk it all, but I'm confident in your abilities, Skip. We need more information about what's in here. There were some dangerous people that we encountered on our way here. So I propose, Flex, you and I will hide across the street.
Okay.
And I will cast invisibility on Skip. And Skip, you can scout. The objective is to not go in. Scout the whole place. Because you've got your boots of spider climbing, right? So you'll be able to walk up and look inside all the windows while you're invisible. And then you report back to us.
All right, Eisenhorn. Although I'm going to report back into your mind.
What?
What?
And channeling, you see him start to whisper to himself,
Which give me the power to...
and you can start to hear Skip's thoughts within your own mind. His
Like in my head.
mumblings. You can feel the pain that he feels for his family, the sorrow that's cast upon, and he's going to use his soul knife rogue ability, Psychic Whispers, to give him and his comrades 4 hours of telepathic abilities. We can speak to each other. To send or receive a message, no action
you
required.
are full of surprises, little one.
Whenever I speak with my mind,
is it two-way?
I still mouth the words.
Is it?
Yes. So for a number of hours for the roll, up to one or more creatures you can see, up to the proficiency bonus. Send and receive messages, and you and the other creatures must be within 1 mile. So as long as we don't leave within a mile of each other.
Okay, yeah.
Which should be no problem.
That is very sweet.
That should be no problem. So so my invisibility spell will last for an hour as long as you don't attack or cast a spell.
On it, Eisenhower. All right, Eisenhower. Yes, sir. Skip reporting for duty.
And as I disappear, I run up the side of the gate and I start to do a circumference check of the compound.
What I'm going to do meanwhile, just as the last thing that I'll communicate to Skip is, I have Dimension Door. So Skip can tell us. So once Skip finds, here's the idea. Skip, you find the Pale Man, and then I'll Dimension Door myself and Flex to your location, and we'll just yeah.
Balls won't hold us.
And
yeah,
he's at these coordinates, Eisenhower.
Yeah.
God. All right.
Because we can stay 500 feet away.
Yeah.
Right. And then Dimension Door, or if there's an emergency, you just psychically tell us, and we'll boom, be right there.
Rad.
All right.
So with our newfound abilities, Skip the Scout is going to begin his scout of the compound.
As you approach the little building, you notice in the little window at the front, there's a squat-looking figure similar to the little creatures that you saw earlier, but this one he has black shaggy hair and little tiny beady eyes and a big grin, and he's sitting at a little chair in this booth playing what looks like solitaire with an old beat up deck of cards, and he's mumbling to himself, and you can kind of make out as you're sneaking over the wall that he's just in there, and he's going, Tooth, you're a good boy, aren't you? Yeah. And at first you think maybe he's talking to a pet. He's like, Tooth, you've done well for yourself. And you actually, as you get a little closer, see that he's in there alone, just playing solitaire and giving himself a pep talk, it seems.
There's only one guard in the booth. He seems to be playing alone.
Guards are known for playing with themselves.
It's a nice pastime.
So are you just like running along the top of the fence here or something?
And yeah, and just how wide would you say the fence is? You said it's a stone fence.
Yeah, it's about I don't know, like a foot wide. You can run.
So it's a wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just running across the wall, and then I'm going to run down this part of the wall and check out the nearest window in this next compound.
So this is the old tower. You can see that there's like a structure here that like there's a little house part, and then the tower that would have extended up much higher, but at the second story it's just kind of crumbled and gone. There are several boarded up windows, but you are able to kind of squeeze a peek through some of the boards. And let me reveal what you see. So what you actually make out... Let me just... Gonna try to get the tokens visible. Oh. Still learning Roll20, everybody. There we go.
It's a really cool program.
Yeah.
It's my first time using it.
This is your... I think, Kelly, you've been playing with it, but as a player, but this is your first time piloting it. We had a crash course on the weekend for you, but... Yeah.
There they are.
There they are. So peering into the window, you actually see a little bit of a commotion in this building. And there's all of these little creatures running about. You can make out, again, one that's slightly bigger and kind of hunched and has these bulbous kind of disfigurations under its cloak that you can make out. And as you're peering in, the larger one is kind of yelling orders around at the littler ones, and everybody's carrying scrolls and notes. And the stonework on this building, as you're approaching it, is this ancient and moss and ivy covered stone building. The ivy growing out of the ground and wrapping around the tower, clinging to it. And inside, you can make out a mess of paperwork. There are several tables, and you can make out drawings stuck to the walls and red string that's actually tying the various drawings together, and many maps of Drakkenheim spread out on tables. And there's a group of these creatures in here circling things on the map, pointing to images on the wall, and arguing back and forth about different locations in Drakkenheim and different things going on in the city. It seems that it's a sort of study, I guess, of sorts, where they're doing some sort of work to analyze Drakkenheim.
Hold on, I have a question.
Yeah.
And Skip, maybe you can tell. Did you say that this was a tower, but the second level is gone?
Yeah.
So is there a ceiling or a floor to this, or is it just open to the air on top?
There's level 1, level 2, and then it's open to the air on top.
Okay, so there's still like so there's one intact floor.
And the second
above.
floor seems to be, there seems to still be a second floor, but whatever the top of that floor was like, it's gone.
Okay.
So we're looking at the first floor right now.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So the stairs go up to the second floor, but otherwise there's nothing. So we could stand on top of this, but then there's nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I get a good look at the maps that are in there?
From where you are right now, it's really hard to see exactly what they're doing. You can make out that it's a map of Drakkenheim, but it's hard to tell exactly what they have been working on in there.
Eisenhorn, 5 bogeys. In the front left building.
I'm here too.
Flex, there's a big one with your name on it.
Yes. I start sharpening my sword.
I will report at the next building.
This thing's on fire.
And I'm gonna scurry back across the other building on the stables that you described earlier.
Awesome. So the stables, as you're kind of walking around, all of the windows have been boarded up, but you can't actually find one that has any sort of give or way to tell. But as you approach, you can hear a bunch of commotion happening inside. You hear the sound of work being done. You hear hammers. You hear packaging and movement, and just the general sounds of people at work. And as you approach, you can make that all out, and you do hear a voice inside that sounds distinct from the rest and seems to be speaking a bit louder, and you can hear it, and it's saying, "Oh yeah, if you just take the that there and package it. We need to fill the quota for the master today. So just work a little faster, okay, guys? Just try a little harder. Don't want to get in trouble again.
One of those Drakkenheim Amazon warehouses.
And Kelly, how high is the roof of this stable?
So the stable goes about 15 feet up.
Okay, and what material is the roof made of?
It's a shingled roof, made of like what are shingles?
So the building is not made of stone; it's made of wood.
It's made of wood and shingled. It's the same make as the house.
Okay, so you're telling me it's a flammable building?
It's
what we're getting down to.
It certainly is.
With a little bit, and is there any opening before the? Like, is it like fully sealed? Is there like an opening, like a rafter to get in?
Okay, well, actually, so because it is a stable, there is one window that isn't boarded up. And as you look up, where the roof is, there's one of those little circular windows up near the top.
I stroll up to it.
You walk up the side of the house, and as you approach this little circular window, there's some kind of rafters that are making it hard to see everything inside, but you can make out somebody is hammering delirium just below you. And they're using a hammer with the head of the hammer is also made out of delirium. And give me a perception check.
Ooh. 3.
Yep.
They're hammering delirium?
Yes.
Eisenhorn, they're hammering the delirium with a delirium hammer.
Is it exploding?
Not currently. This is really peculiar because you've told me a lot about delirium and I stay right away from it, but it looks like it should be a lot more volatile. This is like having playing with matches around gunpowder.
You don't want to mess with delirium.
Peculiar. Okay.
That's about all you can make out. You know that there's more people in there, but your vision's kind of blocked from this window, and you can only make out directly below you just the hammering. And it is curious, and it looks like there's something going on here outside of normal means, because usually striking delirium like this would cause it to explode, but something is maintaining it in this instance.
I'm going to continue to the opposite side of the building and move along the I'm going to just assume that this is the eastern side and go to this little hut at the back.
As you walk past the stables, you actually see that there's a little fenced-in lot that used to be where the horses would hang out in the sunshine. It's pretty muddy now, and there's actually, you can make out the skeleton of a dead horse, and there's actually one of these little creatures, again with its cloak held up, and it is watering a little weed that is growing out of the ground here. And he's tending to it, and he's leaning over, and you can just see him be like, "Oh, you're a pretty thing, aren't you? Your little plant here.
So creepy.
Just a pretty little thing growing. I love it when they grow."
Yeah, Eisenhorn, I think this whole place needs to burn.
And as you get to the back corner, there's a shed here, and there are a couple windows on it. And looking in, I'll reveal this as well. Good job, Scout.
He says normally.
You can make out that there's another 2 creatures in here, and they're kind of stacking crates and kind of just putting things in various places and muttering to each other, but not much else is here. They seem to just be stacking goods and organizing the shed at the moment.
I don't see the creatures.
There's Flex, there's 2 more in that back storage area.
Copy that. Thank you for including me this time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you know what to kill.
All right, got it.
Maybe they'll be lucky and have maps on them to exactly where we need to go. You really got lucky that time. I
I wrote it. What else can I do?
As you approach the house, Skip, these windows, the ones at the back of the house, the one that you have come up to right now is completely boarded up, but you can make out several mumbles and grumbles beyond the boarded up window. There's definitely more than a few voices having a conversation in there, but they're talking in a pretty calm tone, and you can't really make out what they are saying at this moment.
I'm going to look for some kind of entrance, even if it is around the back of the building. Also, is the roof the same structure as the stable?
Yeah.
Like sort of a shingled roof?
Yeah.
How many floors is the house?
2 floors.
And is the second floor the entire size of the ground?
The second floor is most of it. It's actually mostly, it's mostly like from this corner to this corner. And then this sort of structure, this kind of front-facing area is 1 floor and then a roof. But the rest of the structure seems to have a second story.
Okay.
Yeah,
Actually,
and
one thing I should note, this might be important. One window that you did see that wasn't completely boarded up, or at least you couldn't tell, it wasn't broken. The window wasn't broken like the others. Is a stained glass window actually at the sort of front end of this house on the second story. There is a circular stained glass window there. Skip, what would you like to investigate?
And so is there even like a small bit of room within any of these windows? Like even like
As you move along the back of the house, it looks like it's very purposely boarded up and kept in the dark. The front end of the house actually has a little bit less care taken, and you might be able to see through the cracks in one of the front windows.
could I fit my hand through the cracks?
Where are you right now? Where are you
at the back end of the house.
Again, the back is very well boarded up. There's not much give here. It seems intentional that the back portion of this house is very carefully, maintained, but it's really just a bunch of wood boarding up so that nobody can look inside. And you can't make much out in that section of the house. But as you move to the front, there's a few cracks. And as you do look in, what you see, is this the window that you're going to be...
Yeah.
Cool. So what you see looking in here is there's some broken furniture and cobwebs filling this room. And at the back of the room, let me actually reveal. That work? Boom.
There we go.
All right. So you make out this room here with broken furniture and spider webs, and you can actually make out that there's a double door here that is also boarded up and has several boards hammered into it to keep it closed.
Sorry, there's a double door here?
Yeah.
And there's a door here.
There's a door here as well that isn't boarded up and is hanging slightly ajar.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make my way around the building and go to the other side to look in the windows.
Okay.
Are these windows on the opposite side showing me anywhere inside the building?
Yes, you are able to make out this little room right here. Same situation, it seems. Again, a pair of double doors at the back of this room are boarded up, but the room is filled with debris, broken glass, spider webs, and ruined furniture. And actually, as you came across, I should note that you walked by another little figure standing and looking into this pond over here, and he's just throwing pebbles into it, muttering to himself.
just the creepiest What
Yeah,
about this
and actually,
back window?
So you do move close enough to this creature that I'm going to have you make a stealth check, but he has disadvantage to actually notice you. So we'll see.
I get a 20.
So you didn't roll under an 8. So yeah, he doesn't notice you. Just in case we got a 1. So again, the back window is boarded up, but you can actually make out a conversation. It seems like somebody is leaning up against the wall right next to this window. And you hear them say, "Hey, this bread is not moldy enough for me." And another one goes, "Well, I don't like my bread moldy." And a third voice you can hear goes, "I like them with extra maggots, please. Anybody have any extra maggots?" And they seem to be talking about what they're going to eat. And you can make out that it doesn't sound very pleasant.
And I can't see anything inside the window, right?
No, you can just make out some voices there.
Eisenhorn. Eisenhorn. Flex.
Yes.
This back building seems to be the last place I can't get a good look. They've really boarded it up. I'm trying to find a way in, but I haven't been able to find the Pale Man yet. Over.
As you walk by the front of the building, there is also a set of double doors right here that look like the front entrance to the building. just to let you know.
Okay, I'm gonna try to.
I wonder.
Mhm.
I wonder if you can, because you're invisible. I wonder if you can trick any of these ones. They seem mad. I wonder if you could speak to them invisibly and convince them that you're some sort of voice inside their own heads.
Ooh.
Maybe get more information out of one of them.
You're a genius.
I'm gonna walk over to the one I passed earlier by the pond.
Awesome. He's there. He's skipping rocks, and he tries to skip one, and it just goes plunk into the water. And he goes, "Well, that was my best one yet." And he throws another rock, and it like misses the pond and hits the dirt nearby. And he goes, "Oh, need to work on my swing."
I am the man of the lake.
Oh, it's happening again. It's the man of the lake. It's talking to me again. Hello, lake.
The stones you throw do not please me.
Oh no. Oh no, I've upset the lake. Master will have my head for this.
Where is Master?
What?
Where is your master? Throw him in the lake. This will please me.
I don't think I'm allowed to do that, Lake.
Who has been kinder to you? The lake or master?
This like look goes across his face as he ponders. Lake or master? Master or the lake? Master whips me when I misbehave, but he also keeps me alive. The lake won't keep me alive if I go in it, but it does let me skip rocks, which is my favorite pastime. This is complicated.
Do not complicate things. You must go inside and retrieve new items to throw into me, and I will tell you when I am appeased.
Roll persuasion.
This is great.
I got a 20.
I suppose
Something shiny.
He starts like fiddling around in his pockets.
I don't want pocket stuff. I want something fancy from that house. I have not been near that house for some time.
From the house, from the lake. I can't. It's a far walk, and I'm tired.
If you do not throw something of value into me this very moment, I will throw the stones back at you and shun you from throwing rocks into me ever again.
No, I'm going, Lake.
And then I'm right behind him.
He starts like skittering along, and he actually, you see him, he doesn't even head for the house. He starts heading for the, oh, sorry, I'm grabbing you there. He starts heading to the in the direction of the stables, and you hear him as he's skittering along. He's muttering, and he's like, the lake always talking to me and asking me to throw things in it. This is the 4th time this week. God. You know, and like he also mutters, he mentions a name. He says, Raven is going to be very concerned. She keeps telling me, no, don't listen to the lake, Big Tuna. Don't listen to it. And he continues to walk towards the stables as he's muttering.
So I'm going to try to stay on his tail just enough. I want to get a good look in the stables when he tries to enter it, but I haven't decided if I'm going to follow him in yet.
So you see, this creature apparently,
and I'm kind of sneaking behind him.
Apparently named Big Tuna. His hood kind of comes off, and you see he has like his eyes are like too far on the side of his head, and he has like these like kind of gills growing on his neck. And as he walks towards the stables, you see another little creature right over here who's watering some overgrown shrubs. And Big Tuna waves to him and goes, "Good morning, Mucus." And the other one looks up, and you can see his face is kind of all slimy and gross. And he looks up and goes, "Oh, hello, Big Tuna. Just watering the shrubs again." "Oh, very good. I'm just going to get some things for the lake." And you see he kind of pushes open the stable door and walks in.
And does it stay open? Is it one of those like fun revolving doors?
It swings open, but as he goes in, it looks like he's about to push it closed. What are you going to do?
I am going to follow him in.
All right. I'm gonna have you give me a stealth check just to see. They all have disadvantage on any. They're not even looking for you, and I'm gonna give you advantage on the stealth check just to see if you're like hitting the door or anything, because none of them are looking for you right now. Nobody knows you're here. So I'm going to give you advantage just to see if you like knock something over on your way in or something. But
I got a 26.
Yeah, you're fine.
Thank you.
So, have you rolled under 20 today?
I'm curious. I'm very curious about this room.
Yeah.
I'm going into the stables.
So what you can make out is... Let me just make sure that everybody is revealed here. So there are a ton of these little creatures skittering about, and you can now make out clearer the figure right over here who's crushing up delirium. And you can see he has a little table next to him with a few slivers of delirium, and there's a shimmering field around him as he's pounding the delirium with this delirium hammer inside of this shimmering field. And every once in a while, one of the little creatures comes up and sweeps the dust with like a brush into a little sort of tray, and then brings it over to another table. And you see a group of these creatures sifting through the dust. And then at another table, there's a group of them that are very carefully, with like gloves and safety glasses on, putting the dust into vials. And another creature still is taking the vials and very carefully placing them in a crate. And at the back of the room, you can make out this sort of hunched over figure. And they have their hood pulled up, and you can see their face clearly. And they look very sad, but they're smiling.
Okay.
And their eyes are these white voids, and their skin a pale blue. And it's sort of this short, chunky creature with patches of hair sticking out. And instead of arms, you can see hanging out of the cloak are these two sort of spikes that it has for hands instead. And it wears a small coat, and you can just make out on their exposed skin from their neck and downwards, you can see these oozing sores that it has. And it's just sitting there, and you can hear it going, yes, just package it. Be careful over there. Be careful. And as Big Tuna, the little creature that you're following, walks through, you see the blue-skinned creature look at him and go, Big Tuna, what are you doing? And Big Tuna goes, oh, the lake had asked me again to throw some shiny things. Could you spare any of the delirium, perhaps? No, you know that we can't do that. It's too valuable. You need to stop listening to the lake when it talks to you.
I love that this is a thing.
And Big Tuna goes, oh, I'm just on my way to the house. Do you want me to tell Master anything for you? No, if I need to talk to Master, I'll address him myself, thank you. Okay. And he kind of disappears into the back corner here, and you can kind of hear a door open and close.
Ooh.
I
The
think
main building is a red herring. The stables are where they're keeping this master. There's some kind of delirium production here.
that shimmering field. Do I have a sense of what that shimmering field might be?
Make an Arcana check.
20.
Hey.
You, without seeing it, it's hard to tell, but using what you know about delirium and your years in the Amethyst Academy, you've come into some instances of the refinement of delirium. And in almost all cases where refining delirium occurs, it requires an anti-magic field in order to dampen the effects of delirium and make it less volatile, which seems to be what is happening here. It's you guys have arrived pretty early in the morning, so an anti-magic field only lasts about an hour, but it seems that for that hour, this creature's job is to crush up as much delirium as possible inside of this anti-magic field.
Can you mark on the map the range of that field? Like, is it possible to tell, like, where it kind of ends? Like, is it, because it's not the full room.
No, it's actually very, very limited to like this sort of, let's see, let me grab one of the spells. Spell effects. Okay, let me just put that up for us. So it's actually just sort of there.
Okay, so it's okay. Well, that's a problem for me, but maybe not a problem for the two of you.
Crack my neck.
But Skip, I think you gotta get out of there, Skip.
Should I... This big tuna fellow, he seems to have gone underground. I think I can keep tailing him.
I mean, if they've got an anti-magic field, they could have other wards in place. There could be other magic that could take down your invisibility. We have to weigh that risk. There could be other magic that could block us from teleporting in to help you.
Okay. There's a bunch of delirium. There's about half dozen of these little dudes. Creepy guy in the back with the white eyes. And hammer time in here.
Well, Eisenhorn, Flex, we could start with the main building. I have a strong feeling that the master, this pale man, is in this building. Maybe we can start some kind of problem at the other place and draw some of these out.
You know, I have a bag of tricks full of distractions.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
I'm reaching for the bag. Skip, you gonna come back first, or?
What if we did something at the tower?
And I sort of draw their attention to the tower at the front left of the complex.
We could do something on top of the tower or within the tower to cause a distraction, allowing us to move into the stable.
I can throw something from my bag of tricks 20 feet, so maybe it could go to the top floor of the tower.
How high is the wall around the property?
It's about like a 6-foot wall.
So, like, we could... Because the back of the estate is very lightly defended. So we could potentially approach from the back of the estate, crouch behind the wall, and get close to any of these other buildings to cause problems. Right? Like, it's not a big distance. With, like, most of the buildings are pretty close to the walls, but the areas where the buildings are close to the walls, because there were only a handful of these creatures in the courtyards?
Yeah, there's like one got talked out of hanging out by the pond, so now you can only really make out about like 3 creatures roaming the property at this moment that Skip was able to identify.
So, gents, what do we want to do? Do we want to... Because I'm not convinced the manor house has our mark now. Right? Like...
Yeah, it seems like the mess hall.
Well, there was a lot of... Skip, you said you heard people talking in there, but when you convinced this guy to go for the master... Now, the only other thing that we could think about here is, like, what's our exit strategy? Like, if we go in there and go for this pale man, these other folk that are about, they're not just going to let us walk out of here. And if we cause too much of a ruckus, is it going to attract the entire compound to come to one area? Right? So if we cause a ruckus and a bunch of people and a bunch of these creatures go to one side, like, are they all going to come? Or are some of them going to come?
Was your plan to get us in by teleporting, able to get us out?
I mean, conceivably both, but I could only bring one person with me when I teleport. So, like, that's why the invisibility worked nicely with Skip, because he can get into position and we can get in, and then we think about, like, what is our exit strategy for getting out.
And Skip loses invisibility when he attacks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Like, we could just barge right into that building right now. Right? We could barge into that barn and, pull one over and see what we can do. But, like, how well is that going to work for us? Is that going to take these guys out or not?
Well, if we came from the horse area, we could really get the jump and focus on getting downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Containment.
Because like these smaller ones, I wonder if you could, like, especially the one that's watering that plant. I wonder if we could take them out, take out all 3 of them before anyone noticed us.
True.
Right?
The doorway towards the back of the stables.
Yeah.
Kelly, is it a doorway and it's just closed by where the creepy thing is at the north side of this building?
It looks like it's actually a pretty wide and tall door that was actually used to let the horses out into the sort of fenced in area. But currently it is closed. But it's a functioning door that just leads out the back to the horse pen. And
these creatures, do they seem to be paying attention to their surroundings? They seem very distracted, right?
I mean, they're not looking for invisible people on their property. They're all just enjoying their lives as best they can and enjoying their home and property. So no, they're not really paying attention to you because as far as they know, nobody's come and you're invisible. So
what if we just show up at the front door and talk to whoever's at the front door, see what they say, and see what happens if we just talk to them? and because we can communicate telepathically with you, Skip. You can hold your position, and like, are they going to attack us at the front door, or are they just going to send us away? I want to find out.
I like it.
All right.
Should only one of us approach and the other person like go for like an attack?
No,
like
Flex,
a surprise attack?
you come with me, and I'll.
I'm pretty good at talking to people.
Yeah.
A lot of people have told me that, but you know what? I took the lead on the last one. I'll follow this time.
Okay. I think Flex and I are gonna go up to the front door and knock on the guard post.
With a jump, you see the little figure who called himself Tooth earlier. He looks up, and as he looks up, you can see he has one giant tooth sticking out of his mouth. And he kind of like drops his deck of cards, and he's like, oh, and he like waddles over, and his head just pokes above where the window is. And he's like, good day.
Good day.
Turn down. Flex, I put on a glove, and I turn to Flex and say, Flex, give me one of those shards.
Here you are.
Do you know what this is?
Yes, are you here to sell?
Maybe to sell, maybe to buy.
What are you buying?
What are you selling?
Well, got a lot of good things on sale today, stranger. Have you come because of the contamination? Are you sick? You look okay. Somebody you know then is sick.
No.
No.
I have heard there is one here that knows how to grind this into dust. Is that true?
So you've heard? Yes. The master makes the dust makes the cure keeps us in business.
Oh. This cure.
Yes.
There's someone here that can provide this cure?
Yes, but usually the sick come to us. You don't look entirely sick, so my recommendation is if you're after the cure, bring the sick to us, and we will
You must understand, the friend that I have that is sick is extremely sick, and I had to come first to make sure that I would be able to get the cure for them before I could bring them, for it would be a dangerous journey for them to come, and I did not want to bring them through the dangerous ruins if there wasn't a cure.
Understandable. We run a very fine business here. There's no secrets or tricks here. So you can bring your friend and we'll see to it that they're taken good care of. And he winks.
And what is the price?
Oh, it's 1,000 gold or 1,000 gold worth of delirium. And we will cure any sick that you bring to us. But I should let you know that sometimes the sick that are brought here are beyond help, and we do our best. So it's not 100% guarantee, but it is the best chance that you probably have. So good.
and you're the one who does this cure. Who is it?
The Pale Man. You may have heard of him.
He said it.
And
telepathical.
you must understand that I have several other friends that are also sick. And I would like to recommend them as well. Yes. I would like to speak with the Pale Man, for I would like to arrange a group discount.
This is where it becomes difficult. The Pale Man is an isolated individual, and he prefers to be left alone unless absolutely necessary. Raven does most of the business talk. I could always arrange to have you talk with her. The Pale Man trusts her to make these sorts of arrangements with our clientele.
Tell the Pale Man. Are you able to deliver a message to the Pale Man, or will the Pale Man speak to me?
I could deliver a message, but the Pale Man seldom leaves his quarters these days. He's very busy maintaining this operation.
Okay, I got a really weird question, but maybe it's too esoteric for this. I wanna so he won't talk to me. Okay. I have a very important business proposition for your master.
Yes.
And I need to communicate with your master by some means. Is this possible so that we can discuss terms? For it concerns your master's long-term interests.
He eyes you up and down. Again, I can offer you he like starts shuffling around with things.
I'm just gonna ask him a question. I hold up my hand and say, has your master told you what these mean?
I am
pointing to my rings.
I am aware of purple-robed individuals in the city, yes, and I am aware of what you may represent. And the master specifically is nervous to talk to such purple-robed individuals. But again, he is entrusted...
And he should be. Except we would like to do some business with your master. And we would like to offer him clemency. If he will provide us with what we need.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to go get my manager. And he's going to actually like walk out of the hut and start making his way towards the stables.
Okay. He's also going towards the stables.
Yeah. And he disappears. Actually,
is the gate locked?
The gate is open. You just talked this guy. He got uncomfortable and left his post.
Skip, he's coming towards the doors. When the doors open, you can get out of there.
He pushes the doors open and walks into the stables.
I'm going to slip out behind him.
I'm going to walk through the gates.
What? I thought we were allowed.
It's just a nice thing to do, to not go to people's property, but the door's open.
What
yeah,
do we do?
So as you guys walk out, it's actually a few moments, but you actually see the blue character that Skip had seen in the stables, and Tooth come out of the stable, and you see the blue-toned creature kind of look over and see you two standing in the front sort of entranceway, and she turns to Tooth and goes, Did you abandon your post, Tooth? Did you just leave the gates unattended?
Are you his manager?
She
the Karen technique.
She walks over and comes forward. Yes, I speak on behalf of the Pale Man. What do you need?
I'm gonna telepath Skip. Get ready to stab the manager.
Aye, Eisenhorn.
You speak on behalf of the Pale Man.
Yes, I'm one of his top ranking individuals here at the estate.
How may I call you?
My name is Raven.
Raven, I am here. I am Mr. Eisenhorn, and I'm here on behalf of the Academy.
Indeed.
We have heard of your employer's techniques, and we are aware that your employer is not necessarily operating anything above ground, if you get my meaning.
Yes. But what we're doing here is very important and very helpful. We run a clean business. And
you and I know that's almost assuredly not true.
Okay, very well. We run a dirty business, but we help people. What do you want from us? We're not...
I'm going to put it straight. If your master tells us how they're doing, what they're doing, we'll look the other way.
What we're doing, I can tell you. How we're doing... what we're doing? Well, so the Pale Man has found means for all of us here to exist inside the haze, to deal with the contamination and to withstand the mutations that occur. As you can tell, and she kind of gestures, holds up her arms and points to her general self, the mutations sometimes do take effect, but we are able to control them here. The master is using delirium to push the limits of magic and infuse spells in a way that I've never seen anybody else do. And it's It's this power that is keeping all of us alive and can in fact undo mutations and reduce contamination. There are certain magics at work here, and the Master has found a way of grinding delirium. And we do offer tours if you'd like a tour of the workshop. But beyond that, I can't show you very much. And if you do want to speak to the Pale Man, you're from the Amethyst Academy, yes?
Yes, I am.
I will
gesture to the rings. And if your master will deal with us openly, we will forget about some of the things that he's clearly... Listen. There's nobody else that's going to deal with him in this way. It's only a matter of time. And we can deal fairly, or it is... But I want to highlight something for your master. He is running out of time. And if he would like to buy some more time for himself, it would be advisable for him to cooperate. To, shall we say, keep skipping along the beat that we say.
I hear you.
It's an agreeable.
It is very agreeable. I understand. I understand your position. I see the rings on your hand. Academy has had some interest in us for a while. We're doing some work, actually. Very important work, and we'd be honored to share it with the Academy. The Pale Man doesn't like company, so I can offer that you may speak to him, but the other two must wait by our lovely pond. And she gestures to the pond, and you see like a decrepit tree, a branch fall into the pond, and it's giving off this odd octarine glow from the water. And it doesn't look very pleasant at all. But you do notice a little bench on the far side of it, and she's like, the other two may wait on the bench. You may come and talk to the Pale Man, but only you and you alone, Academy Mage.
Can we at least take the tour during that time? I am interested.
The Pale Man might think that that is a way to negotiate from a position of strength, but I assure you that he has the wrong way of it.
I'm sorry, you've come to our home and our property, and I'm asking you politely that the Pale Man will deal with you and only you. I don't see the need for your... I guess they can't actually see Skip at all, so I don't see the need for your large axe-wielding friend. He seems...
Thank you.
Slightly intimidating.
I just asked for a tour.
We do offer tours, but...
Telepathically, what do you guys think? Should we take this? Should we go in?
It might be an opportunity to see inside.
I would definitely take it if it's our only opportunity. I want to try to be closer, because if they're going to take you underground in that area, that's why I want to go for the tour. I mean, they friggin' offered it. And then I'm like, I'll take you up on that. And then they just ignore me? Friggin' rude. Thought over.
Flex, if you can stay close by and really force the tour on them, really just be right inside their wheelhouse. We could let Eisenhorn look inside, and I could follow him.
See, they think they're safe. But are they? I don't know. I think...
The manager's just standing there as we're all just like
Well,
thinking in our head.
Yeah.
are you just going to stand there and stare at each other awkwardly? Or are you going to take up.
I'm sorry, my friend, but I need an assurance of my own safety. Sorry, I just don't trust that if I go in there alone that I'm going to come out alive.
Very well, your friend.
And there, if your friend won't listen, I'm willing to talk to the Pale Man on the other side of a closed door. If he's shy, sure, fine. But no, I'm not going in alone.
Okay. Roll persuasion.
That's a cock die. 20 plus 9, so that's 28.
I'll tell you what. You, large, intimidating one, you wanted a tour, yes?
Yes.
I'll give you both.
Hear me say that.
I'll give you both the tour of the warehouse, and I'll bring you to the Pale Man. But only you, mage, may enter the room, but your friend may wait just outside. With me.
And snacks?
We might have some bread.
I'm in.
Very well. So long as my companion may come with us, we'll go.
All right. Follow me. And she starts heading towards the stables. And it is 8:55, meaning this probably seems like a great time to end for the evening. I actually completely lost track of time. I was ready to go for another hour.
Yeah, me too.
So it's 8:55, and this seems like a good place. That leaves us next week to really dig in and explore the manor and discover what exactly is happening in the Pale Man's estate.
Something creepy. Everyone's so creepy, and they're not even hiding it.
Mm.
They're flaunting it. How creepy can we get?
So yeah, that brings us to the end of our session. How are you guys? How was that? How was it?
It's what a tone. What a creepy tone.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I want to give a huge thank you this evening to our wonderful players. First time playing on the show, Monty. Good job.
Well
Congratulations for being a player in this game.
Every
Mitch,
dungeon master's nightmare.
Yes. No, he didn't ruin my plans too badly this evening, and I'm glad I'm able to at least stump you a little bit with a few of these curveballs. And Mitch and Joe, thank you as always for being here, and Mitch, thank you again for joining us. It is always a pleasure to have you at my table.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I always have a great time. Had fun on Monster of the Week. I hope we can do that again sometime, but this is something to scratch that itch,
Definitely.
And I'm an itchy man.
And also a massive thank you. Is Kyle in our chat?
Yeah, Kyle running things in the chat.
We have the whole Quarter Life gaming.
Yeah,
that's right.
They're doing
tonight.
some cool, fun stuff
night.
on YouTube. So please check them out on all their channels and all their socials. And I think we got a few other awesome shout outs for this evening. Kelly also doing an amazing job running the show as Dungeon Master this evening.
Yes.
Made some amazing maps for us, made some amazing scenarios. So looking forward to seeing how this all goes. I had such a pleasure playing this evening. So thank you so much, Kelly. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you so much.
Done.
I had to shake off a bit of rust. It's actually been because of lockdown. It's been a little while since I've ran a game, and this is my first time ever running one remotely. And Roll20 is actually great. I had a lot of fun. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, and we used Dungeon Draft to make the map this week. So that's some cool stuff. If you're wondering where the maps all come from, that's all made bespoke, all made by Kelly. Although I think I made the first map. The street map.
That was yours. The estate, and as you'll see next week, any further maps of the estate were all designed by me. Dungeon Draft was a blast to use. It it allowed me to really explore
Yeah,
kind of my
super
imagination
cool.
there.
Yeah, and again, once again, a thank you to Mitch and Joe for playing with us, as well as a big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters for helping to make all this stuff happen. We have a phenomenal Patreon community available exclusively to our. We have a phenomenal Patreon community of folks that support the show, make this all possible, let us do these things like these live streams and Twitches through their generosity and support. And we would love to have you join us. We have an amazing Discord community that's exclusive for our patrons, where we post some previews, some cool stuff, all that going on. It's a great way that if you like the work that we do here on Twitch or YouTube or elsewhere, you can head on over to patreon.com/dungeon_dudes or follow the links in the description below to check us on out, join our community, and show your support for the show. So much appreciated, especially in these times. Beyond that, we do these shows on YouTube. At youtube.com/dungeon dudes. We got new episodes dropping every Thursday and every other Tuesday, where we're doing our subclass rankings, so you can find all of our great content on those channels as well.
And make sure to join us live next Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes on YouTube. Next week, we will be continuing this saga with me returning as Dungeon Master and the same group of wonderful characters. And we're going to see how all that goes.
Yeah, and of course, this is part of our Untold Tales of Drakkenheim, which is a bit of a break that we've been taking while Jill rears her newborn. We'll be playing next week. We'll be taking a week off after that and coming back with some more surprise guests. This is all part of, with Untold Tales of Drakkenheim, for Kelly and I to develop some of the new locations that we're going to be featuring in the Dungeons of Drakkenheim campaign guide, which is going to be coming to Kickstarter later this year. If you watched our first season of our campaign, we are going to be adapting all of that. We're hard at work working on the manuscript. It's getting there.
Yeah,
it's getting there. It's actually
getting there.
Yeah,
I could see all the pieces. We just need to start putting them together. Like all the pieces are there.
I've completed the part where I take all my original. I actually had a depressing week last week because I put all of my Dungeon Master notes. Like I finished the whole part where I took all my original DM notes and put them into the formatting that we'd arranged, and I was like, oh, I gotta write a lot more.
Yeah, right? Well, that's where I come in. We're mapping out the new stuff.
It's so funny. Like literally at one point in my notes, I was like looking at my notes for the clock tower.
Yeah,
and it was all photos. It was just photos. There were no words. It was just pictures.
That's the way you DM. It's funny. Like,
yeah,
Monty, when I send you tonight's session to be put into the book, you're going to be like, Kelly, this is just a bunch of scrap notes tossed around with a bunch of stupid names.
Yeah.
Like, I just have a list of names for these little creatures to throw away. And like my notes are hilarious because like it's going to work, but merging a DM's notes into a book is actually weird because when I write my campaign notes, they're not the same as in the book.
It's so weird because I find that for both myself, it's like we've talked so much about how preparing to run a game of D&D doesn't look like a published campaign at all. Yeah. Like if you've read a published campaign, it doesn't look like what you actually prep from. So it's a weird translation because I mean, it's like, I hope this is gonna work. Yeah, but it's gonna be super cool, and I think we've got some cool ways of presenting all these ideas that are gonna be a little bit more useful at the table than otherwise. So yeah, all this is doing that. If you're interested in more news about how it all works, our Discord community, we got some cool previews in there. You can also go to Drakkenheim.com to sign up for our mailing list. You'll be notified when the Kickstarter goes live. I think we're also cooking up some cool newsletters with some cool previews of some of the stuff that's going in the book and that as well. So be sure to check all that out as well.
Yeah, and thank you everybody who tuned in tonight and to watch me DM and Monty play and Mitch join and Joe do what Joe does best, which is wear a hat and have a great voice. And it was just an absolute blast. So thank you everybody, and I hope that we see you all here next week for the continuation. And we will see you next time in the Untold Tales of Drakkenheim. Thank you everybody. Good night.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.